I was finishing my shift late Friday evening when Maya walked into my office like a storm in heels. She was my coworker, not exactly my friend, not exactly my enemy, just the kind of woman who always spoke like she had 5 places to be and 10 people waiting for her. Sharp, beautiful, confident, and endlessly overwhelmed. She stood in the doorway, clutching her phone, breathing like she'd run a marathon. "I need a boyfriend," she blurted out. I blinked. "Congratulations, should I get you cake?" She groaned. "Not like that. I need someone to pretend to be my boyfriend this weekend. My parents are coming from out of town, and I may or may not have told them that I'm dating someone." I stared at her. "Why would you do that?" "Because my mom kept trying to set me up with every man she bumped into at the grocery store." She dropped into the chair opposite me. She gave my number to a dentist, a plumber, and a 72-year-old retired colonel. I tried not to laugh. "You poor thing." She narrowed her eyes. "Don't enjoy this too much." "Who said I'm enjoying anything?" I said, but my smile betrayed me. She leaned forward, serious. "I need someone normal, someone who can string sentences together, someone my parents won't interrogate into tears. You're good at not panicking." "I panic all the time." "Internally, quietly, that's perfect." I leaned back. "Okay, but what exactly are you asking?" She took a breath. "Come with me to my parents' lake house for the weekend. Pretend to be my boyfriend, smile, be nice, try not to embarrass me." And she paused. I raised an eyebrow. "And what?" "No sleeping on the sofa," she said quickly, as if saying it fast would make it less shocking. I choked. "What?" She waved her hand. "Not in a weird way. It's just, my parents expect couples to, sleep in the same room. And if you sleep on the sofa, they'll know something's wrong." I rubbed my face. "So what you're saying is—" "I need you to sleep in the same room," she said, cheeks flushing. "Same bed, just don't freak out." I opened my mouth. "What if you said you wanted to stay forever?" I joked. Her eyes widened, and for a split second I saw something flicker. Surprise, amusement, maybe even curiosity. Then she cleared her throat. "Don't make this complicated," she muttered. "Just help me out." "So let me get this straight," I said. "You want me to pretend to be your boyfriend for 2 days, sleep beside you, charm your parents, keep a straight face, and act like we're in love?" She nodded. "Exactly." "Why me?" She hesitated. A long silence filled the room. Then she said softly, "Because you're the only one I trust not to make me look stupid." The words hit harder than I expected. I exhaled. "All right, I'll do it." She blinked. "Seriously?" "Yes, but you owe me coffee." "Coffee? I'll buy you an entire cafe." We packed our bags Saturday morning and drove out of the city. Maya looked different without office stress, hair down, wearing a soft sweater instead of her usual corporate armor. She looked human, warm, almost gentle. She leaned her head back against the seat. "My parents are intense. Don't let them scare you. I once survived a Black Friday electronics sale. I fear nothing." She laughed, a real laugh, not her usual sarcastic one. It sounded like something I'd want to hear again. When we arrived, her parents met us on the porch like welcome committee royalty. Her mother immediately hugged me, talking a mile a minute. Her father shook my hand with enough force to dislocate it. Dinner was overwhelming. They asked everything: how we met, who confessed first, what our future plans were. Maya squeezed my hand under the table every time I hesitated. I squeezed back. We were unexpectedly good at lying together. Her mother sighed dramatically. "Finally, my daughter found someone handsome." Maya nearly choked on her water. I tried to look flattered. After dinner, her mom handed us one key. "The guest rooms aren't ready. I hope you two don't mind sharing." Maya thanked her and dragged me upstairs by the wrist before I could say a word. Inside the room, she shut the door and leaned against it. "Oh my God," she whispered. Please tell me I didn't look like I wanted to die." "You looked fine," I said, placing my bag down. "No, I did not. My mother was practically planning our wedding." I smirked. "Is that a problem?" Her cheeks tinted pink. "Stop." The room was small, warm, with one queen-sized bed. I sat on the edge, testing how soft it was. Maya hovered awkwardly. "You can stay on your side," she said quickly. "Just don't be weird." "I'm never weird." "You're always weird." We turned off the lights, both lying stiffly, far apart. The silence dragged until Maya whispered into the darkness. "Thank you for doing this." "You're welcome." Another pause. "You don't hate me, right?" she murmured. "Why would I hate you?" "Because I dragged you into the world's most insane plan." "I don't hate you," I said quietly. "Not even close." She exhaled softly, almost with relief. The next morning, her father asked me to help him fix the old dock near the lake. As we worked, he talked about Maya, how lonely she'd been after college, how hard she was on herself, how she buried her feelings so deep that people often assumed she didn't have any. "She pretends to be tougher than she is," he said, "but she needs someone who sees through all that." I looked up at him. "I think I do." He studied me for a long moment, then nodded. Later, Maya found me by the water. "My dad didn't scare you off, did he?" "No." She sat beside me, hugging her knees. "He likes you." "I like him too." Then she looked at me, really looked. "You're good at this, at pretending." I hesitated. Who said I was pretending? She froze. Don't say things like that." "Why not?" "Because it makes me think you mean it." "What if I do?" She swallowed hard. "Don't, this isn't real." But her voice wavered. We walked back silently. That night when we went to bed, she lay closer than before. Our shoulders brushed. Her breath warmed the darkness. "Can I ask you something?" she whispered. "Anything." "Would you ever date someone like me? In real life?" I turned my head toward her. "I'm already trying not to." She inhaled sharply. Please don't say that unless you mean it." I touched her hand. "I mean every word." Her fingers curled around mine. The next morning, her parents went into town, leaving us alone in the house. Maya paced in front of the fireplace. "We have to talk." "Okay." "You're confusing me. This was supposed to be fake, but now you're saying things and looking at me like that." "Like what?" "Like you want me." I stepped closer, "Because I do." She backed up until her shoulders hit the wall. Her breath quickened. "You're going to ruin everything," she whispered. "Or maybe I'll fix it." "Don't," she said. But she didn't move away. "Maya," I said softly, lifting her chin, "tell me to stop. Really tell me." She stared at me, trembling, then whispered, "I don't want you to stop." I leaned in. She closed her eyes. But before anything could happen, the front door opened. "Maya, we're home early," her mother called. We jumped apart like guilty teenagers. Maya glared at me, not a word. But her cheeks were pink, and her lips were trembling. At dinner, her mother talked about holiday plans and asked if we would come spend Christmas with them. I almost choked. Maya elbowed me under the table. Later that night, when we were back in the room, she sat on the bed facing me. "We need rules," she said. "I hate rules." "We can't do anything," she said. "Not until the weekend is over." "And after that?" I asked. She froze. "After that, I don't know." "Do you want something after that?" She looked at her hands. "I don't know what I want. I just know that I don't want you to disappear when this is over." I placed my hand over hers. "I'm not going anywhere." She lifted her eyes. "Promise." "Promise." She took a shaky breath. "Then you can stay close tonight, not too far." I lay beside her. This time she rested her head on my shoulder, her arm wrapped around me. I felt her heartbeat, fast but steady. In the darkness, she whispered, "This feels too real." It is real. Sunday morning, her parents hugged me like family. Her mother whispered, "Take care of her. She needs someone like you." When we got into the car to head home, Maya sat quietly, staring out the window. Halfway through the drive, she said softly, "This doesn't have to end, right?" "No," I said, "not unless you want it to." "What if I said I wanted it to stay forever?" she murmured. "Then forever it is." She turned, finally meeting my eyes. "Okay," she whispered, "then don't stop being mine." "I won't." She reached for my hand, and for the first time since we met, she didn't pull away. Maya didn't let go of my hand for the rest of the drive. Not once. She held it gently at first, like she wasn't sure whether she was allowed to want this, then tighter, as if she was afraid I might disappear the moment she loosened her grip. I kept my thumb brushing over her knuckles, slow and reassuring. When we reached the city, she didn't pull her hand away even when we stopped at a red light, even when people crossed in front of us, even when we entered her apartment building garage. I parked the car, turned off the engine and sat quietly. She looked at our hands. "This feels strange." "Strange good or strange bad?" She hesitated. "Strange scary." I turned slightly. "Are you scared of me?" "No," she said quickly. "I'm scared of what I'm feeling." "Tell me," I said softly. "What if I'm wrong about this? What if you regret it? What if it ruins everything?" "Maya," I said gently, "we didn't pretend anything. We didn't force anything. We just stopped lying about it." She looked at me, really looked, and her voice softened like a whisper of truth. "You think I've been lying?" I brushed my thumb over her cheek. "I think you're afraid of wanting something real." She swallowed. Her eyes glistened, but she held steady. "Come upstairs with me," she said. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "If I let you go now, I'll regret it." We walked to her apartment in silence, but her hand never left mine. Inside, the familiar scent of her lavender candles and soft blankets made everything feel warm and quiet. She placed her bag down and turned to me, nervous, uncertain, but finally honest. "Can we sit?" she whispered. I nodded, and we sat on her couch. She tucked her legs under herself, facing me with the same look someone gives before telling the truth they've hidden for too long. "I don't do this," she said. "I don't let people in. I act like I don't need anyone, like I'm too busy for feelings. But when I saw you talking to my parents, acting like you belonged, something shifted." I waited. "When you held my hand under the table," she continued, "it felt like we'd done it 1,000 times before. And when we slept beside each other, it didn't feel awkward. It felt like home," I offered. She inhaled shakily. "Yes." I moved a little closer. She didn't move away. "I kept thinking about what you said," she whispered. "You told me you weren't pretending." "I was." She looked down. I wasn't either. Her confession hung between us, warm and breaking something open. I brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "Then what do you want now?" "I want," her voice trembled. "I want you, not for a weekend, not for pretend, just you." I cupped her cheek, lifting her face gently. "Then you have me." She exhaled like she'd been holding that breath for years. She leaned her forehead against mine, hands resting on my shoulders. We stayed like that, breathing each other in, until she whispered, "Do you still want me to stay forever?" I wouldn't have said it if I didn't mean it. She closed her eyes, whispering, "Then don't leave tonight." I wasn't planning to. Her breathing steadied, and she placed her hand over my chest, right where my heartbeat was strongest. "I've never brought a man home like this," she admitted softly. "I've never wanted someone like this." She opened her eyes, not even a little. Not even close. Her cheeks flushed, and she bit her lower lip, a nervous habit I'd only now started to recognize. "Can you stay?" she asked again, but softer, almost like a plea. I pulled her gently into my arms. She melted into me instantly, her forehead against my shoulder. I'm not going anywhere. We sat like that, wrapped in the quiet hum of the city outside, until she finally pulled back slightly, her eyes filled with something raw and vulnerable. "Is it crazy," she whispered, "that I feel safe with you?" "No," I murmured. "It means you chose the right person." She swallowed, then said something she'd been holding back since the lake house. "Can I sleep next to you again tonight?" "Of course." "Not on opposite sides," she said shyly. I want to fall asleep in your arms." I smiled softly. "You don't even have to ask." She held my gaze, her eyes warming with something deeper than fear. "Stay," she whispered. "I'm here." We went to her room quietly. She pulled back the blankets, her movements slow and unsure. When she lay down, she reached out her hand, small, hesitant, waiting for me. I took it. She pulled me close, resting her head on my chest like she belonged there. For the first time, neither of us pretended. Around 3 a.m., I woke to find Maya sitting up slightly, her hair falling over her face as she stared at me. "You okay?" I murmured. "I couldn't sleep," she whispered. "Why?" She hesitated. "Because I'm scared this isn't real, that I'll wake up and it'll disappear." I reached up and brushed my fingers along her jaw. "Look at me." She did. "This is real," I said slowly, "and I'm not leaving." She slowly laid back down, her eyes glimmering in the dim light. "Then, don't wake up tomorrow and pretend this didn't happen." "I won't." "Promise." "I promise." She wrapped her arm around me tightly, as if anchoring herself to a truth she'd never allowed. She fell asleep like that, trusting, vulnerable, finally unguarded. The next morning, she made pancakes in her oversized sleep shirt, humming under her breath, stealing little glances at me every few seconds like she still wasn't sure I was real. When I came up behind her and wrapped my arms around her waist, she stiffened for a second, then relaxed, leaning back into me. "You're still here," she whispered. "I told you I'd stay." She placed her hand on mine, her voice soft and honest. "I'm glad." We ate breakfast at her tiny kitchen table, knees touching under the surface, both pretending not to notice how natural it felt. Halfway through her coffee, she spoke. "What do we tell people at work?" "The truth," I said. She blinked. "The truth." "Yes, we're together." She stared at me like she wasn't expecting that answer. "You want that?" "I want you," I said simply. "Not secretly, not temporarily." Her eyes softened. "What if I get overwhelmed?" she whispered. "What if I push you away because I'm scared?" "Then I'll pull you back," I said gently, "and remind you why you don't need to be scared." Her breathing hitched again, that tiny, trembling sound she made when emotion slipped past her armor. "Come here," I said softly. She stood, walked around the table, and sat in my lap, curling into me like she'd wanted to do it for years. "This doesn't feel fake at all," she whispered. "That's because it is." She pulled back just enough to look at me. "Then don't stop," she said. "Don't stop choosing me." "I won't stop," I whispered back. "Not today, not tomorrow, not ever." Her forehead pressed to mine, her breath warm and true. "Then," she murmured, "I guess this means you're not sleeping on the sofa ever again." "Not a chance." She smiled, a real smile, the kind she never showed at work, and leaned into me with the softest, happiest sigh. And just like that, the weekend lie became the truth we both wanted all along.